So, if you clicked on this video, you're wondering, how deep is the ocean? Well, we're about to find out.
The ocean is
video.
really, really deep. Deeper, in fact, than most of us realize.
Let's
If
put
you
it
were to shave
lower.
off all of the land from the tops of every continent and island in the world and fill up the ocean's deepest points with that land, then the entire Earth would be covered in an ocean 2 miles deep. 3/4
Well,
of
it's
our
really
planet
weird
is
on the
already
right, though.
covered in water, though, and it goes a lot deeper than just 2 miles. Let's start with a sense of scale. This
scary
dot
music.
right here is the size of an average human. This slightly larger dot is the size of an elephant, and this is the size of the largest ship ever built, the Knock Nevis.
Knock Nevis.
With
I
that
thought
in
the
mind,
Titanic was
let's
the
start
largest ship
going
in the world
underwater and see what we
ever
find
built.
out. The first milestone is at 40 meters below the surface, which is the maximum depth allowed for recreational scuba diving. A little further down at 93 meters is where the wreck of the Lusitania was discovered, which is interesting because the Lusitania itself is 240 meters long, which means that it sank in water shallower than it is long, so if
That's
the
weird.
ship was standing on its stern or bow, it would be sticking out of the water. Just slightly deeper than that at 100 meters is where diving can become seriously fatal if you're not careful because of decompression sickness. But that didn't stop a man named Herbert Nitsch to accomplish the free diving world record at a depth of 214 meters. This guy
This is
swam
crazy if
down
he's
to this
doing that
level
with
with just one single
one
breath.
breath.
But a little further
Count.
down at 332 meters, we have the scuba diving world record, which was accomplished by another man named Ahmed Gabir. If he had swam down another 111 meters, then he would have reached the height of the Empire State Building if it was submerged underwater. And a little further than that, at 500 meters below the surface, we arrive at the maximum dive depth of blue whales,
That's
the
really
largest
deep.
creatures on the planet and also the limit of the U.S. Seawolf-class nuclear submarine.
Seawolf-class
At 535 meters, we can witness the maximum dive depth of emperor penguins, and this is when we must
Really?
bring up the
Penguins can
intensity
go
of
that
water
deep?
pressure. At this level below the surface, the water pressure exerted on a person or the penguins would be roughly equivalent to a polar bear standing on a quarter. So further down the depths, at
What if someone-
830 meters, would be the height of the Burj Khalifa in
guess that'd be
Dubai,
a lot
the
of
tallest
pressure.
building in the world. Once we hit 1,000 meters below the surface, we begin to enter the
really
scary
dark.
zone.
Scary
Light from the
zone.
surface can
Ooh,
no longer reach
scary.
beyond this point, so the rest of the ocean below is shrouded in permanent darkness. On top of that, the water pressure you would experience at this point would be about the same as if you were standing on the surface of the planet Venus, meaning that you would die very quickly.
How
You
do
would
you know
also
that?
meet the
That's
giant
so
squid at this sea level if the water pressure didn't already kill you. At 1,280 meters, we reach the maximum depth dived to by the leatherback sea turtle, and further
Turtles?
down at 1,828 meters, we would reach the deepest part of the Grand Canyon were it to be underwater with us. Down
Wow,
at
that's crazy.
2,000 meters, we start to encounter some of the more terrifying sea creatures, like the ominously named black dragonfish, a
black
carnivorous
dragonfish.
beast with a stomach that doesn't allow light to be emitted through it. Meaning that since we're in total darkness underwater at this point, the only way you would ever see this thing is with a flashlight.
that's
A little
scary.
further
How do you
down
think
at
you find out these
2,250 meters, we would reach the maximum depth dived to by both sperm whales and the very frightening colossal squid.
Ooh, those things
Sperm
are
whales often have sucker
weird.
marks and scars left on their bodies from battles with the colossal squid that likely take place at these incredible depths. The squids themselves can grow to be 14 meters long and weigh up to
14 meters,
750
that's like-
kilograms with eyes the size of a dinner plate and razor-sharp sickles in the
A
middle
dinner
of their
plate, that's like the
tentacles. So
size
yeah,
bigger
good
than
luck
your
with
head.
that
These
down
eyes are
there.
bigger
Way
than your head.
further
Can you
down at
imagine that? Holy
3,800
cow.
meters, we can find the wreck of the RMS Titanic. And a bit past that, at
The
4,000
Titanic?
meters, we start to enter the abyssal zone of the
The
ocean.
abyssal
Water
zone.
pressure is at an astonishing 11,000 pounds per square inch down here, and there are numerous strange,
pounds-
almost
one-
alien-like
I forgot.
creatures that inhabit these depths, such as the fangtooth, anglerfish, and viperfish.
I know the
Down at
anglerfish, but how do these people even
4,267
find
meters is
this
the average
stuff
depth
out?
of the ocean where you would normally expect to hit the
that's
floor,
weird
but there
looking.
are parts of the ocean that go significantly deeper than even this. At 4,791 meters rests the wreckage of the battleship Bismarck sunk during World War II, and way down at 6,000
That's
meters is
crazy.
the beginning of the Hadal Zone,
The
named
Hadal
after
Zone.
the underworld Hades itself. The water pressure
Hades.
down at these depths can become 1,100 times what you would experience way back on top at the surface, which is roughly equal to an elephant balancing on a postage stamp or a single person carrying the weight of 50 Boeing 747
Oh my
jumbo
gosh.
jets. Down at these depths, you would be crushed immediately without any outside protection, but life still exists down here in various
Life still
strange
exists
forms.
in
At
6,500
meters, we reach the maximum depth that the DSV Alvin can dive to, a popular research submarine that helped to
I've never
discover
heard
the
of that.
Titanic. Way further down at 8,848 meters below the surface, and we have arrived at the height of Mount Everest, where to be upside
Really?
down
Mount
and
Everest
placed
is that
underwater.
tall?
And
Holy
then, way further
cow.
past even that, at 10,898 meters, we arrive at the depth reached by James Cameron in 2012 during the Deep Sea Challenger mission. The
How'd they
deepest point
do
in the
that?
ocean
That's
yet reached
insane.
by humans was back in 1960, though, when two men named Don Walsh and Jacques Piccard reached a depth of 10,916
French.
meters using their
Like, 'cause
Trieste
that's French, I'm not sure.
submarine. It took them 5 hours to descend through
5
the ocean to this
hours.
depth, and they only stayed for 20 minutes before a window cracked and they began to resurface.
Oh
Just
my
a bit
gosh,
further
imagine
down
that.
from
You're
there
in a
at
submarine, a window
10,972
cracks,
meters, and we reach the
and
average
water's
flight altitude
filling.
of a commercial airliner. So if you've ever looked out of a window
Water,
while on
and
a
then-
flight and looked down
yeah.
to the ground, that's a very good sense of how incredibly deep down into the abyss that we are currently at. Finally, when we hit 10,994 meters, we have hit the bottom of the known ocean called the Challenger Deep,
that
right
looks
here on this map, just about
scary.
300 kilometers southwest of Guam Island. However, it is believed that there are almost certainly even deeper parts of the ocean than this that just haven't been discovered yet. It wasn't
Really?
until 1997, after all, that the Serena Deep was discovered with a depth of 10,732 meters, making it the second deepest known point in the
10,772, I
ocean.
think it said?
It is
That's
estimated that only about 5%
insane.
of the ocean's floor has been accurately mapped, leaving the other
5% of the
95%
ocean.
to be currently a mystery.
Okay,
It
there's
may be only a
95%.
matter
Here, there's 95% that we haven't discovered. Imagine how many creatures that we haven't found out, or like different fish, different like types of species of whales or fish, something like that.
of time before an even deeper part of our ocean is found, and who knows what we may discover there.
Yeah, like. Well, anyways, this will be the end of the video. Hope you liked it, and I hope you found some stuff out or learned some things. Anyways, goodbye.